So I would say it was probably a little over a year ago when I noticed that I was unable to sleep on a regular basis, just trying to fall asleep, and I would try a couple of different things. I would put on calming music, I would roll over, on one side, didn't work, roll over to the other, and I just started to notice I was looking at the clock every 30 minutes to an hour, just getting so frustrated that I couldn't fall asleep because there was no reason for me to not be able to sleep. That actually ended up rolling into my work life. I was exhausted at work. I was unable to meet minimal deadlines. And what was just a 3 p.m. yawn, you feel like you need to get a little bit of energy in, it turned into 3, 4, 5 cups of coffee just to try to make it through the day, which even then was not really very helpful. It was getting to a point where I was just grumpy around my family and my friends. Like, it's not that they didn't want me around, but I just felt bad going around them because I was just an angry, unhappy person because I was not sleeping at all.
I started noticing about 6 months ago that my husband was having sleep issues. He had trouble falling asleep, and then he would wake up in the middle of the night, tossing and turning and waking me up also. And it got to be such a problem that during the day we were both so irritable and drowsy, we knew we had to do something. It was a nightmare. I mean, when you don't get the right quality of sleep, and of course, like I said, he was waking me up, so we were both not getting the sleep we needed. I especially would go to work and would just be so drowsy. I couldn't stay awake. I had nothing more that I wanted to do, put my head down on my desk and go to sleep. And he had no energy during the day to get anything done around the house because he's retired, I work, and nothing was getting done. Our house was just falling apart. And then we were both just arguing with each other because we weren't getting the sleep that we needed. And it was becoming a huge challenge in our relationship.
So a couple of months ago, I started having problems getting to sleep. It's like my brain wouldn't shut off. I was drowsy at work. Staying awake was like an insurmountable task for me. My doctor actually recommended some prescription sleeping products. The side effects are so bad. I actually got a headache and I couldn't concentrate. And I would take them, and a lot of times they would upset my stomach. And I just felt all around dizzy. They weren't effective. Now I'm groggy and I'm kind of grumpy. And that affects my wife. She's like, oh, you're a grumpy old man today. It's like, well, I didn't sleep that well. I took those pills over there, and it's like, ugh.
I ended up going to my doctor, and she told me that I should try sleeping pills. I had taken some of those in the past just for like a couple sleepless nights that I would have, and I call it the sleeping pill hangover, right? You wake up the next day and you almost feel even more exhausted, even more drowsy than you would have if you just didn't get any sleep that night. So I didn't want to deal with those side effects and decided that I would just take it to the internet, see what I could find on my own. And I tried a bunch of different natural remedies. I would wake up in the middle of the night from nightmares or just getting those 2 hours of sleep with it, but it was no longer in my system anymore. So I still, was unable to go to sleep even just after getting those 2 hours of it. I tried calming tea and it made me a little sleepy, but still I just felt like my brain was just constantly going. I was thinking of all of the other things on the to-do list that I needed to do for the rest of the week. I just felt desperate to get some sleep. So, I was sitting there about to call my doctor again and just have her prescribe something. Maybe I could get through the sleeping pill hangover or whatever. I could just deal with being drowsy, but this was just so bad that anything would have been better.
So I contacted our family physician, and of course, they wanted immediately to put us on prescription sleeping pills. I said, no, thank you. I had heard all the horror stories from my friends who had taken the pills about the side effects and then the dependency that it can create. I just didn't want that for my husband. So then we investigated a few of the more natural products, and we actually tried a few of the products, and most of them were great at getting into sleep, but he was still waking up in the middle of the night, tossing and turning and waking me up.
I went online and researched some natural sleep remedies. I actually tried a few. None of them worked like I hoped they would. I would find myself not sleeping the whole night. I would still wake up. And there's a lot of them out there that if you take it in the morning, you wake up like you got a hangover. So I felt like I was at the end of my rope. Wasn't sure what I was going to do. I actually considered taking the prescriptions. But then I got an email about Gabasom, a natural liquid supplement, and the science behind it seemed really strong.
I was like this close to going back to my doctor. And I ended up getting an email just kind of randomly about Gabasom. I looked into it, and not only was it natural, but it actually had the research to back it up, which was just a breakthrough for me. When I was looking up some of these like homeopathic natural remedies, a lot of it was just those kind of like chats that you see on the internet where they're like, oh, this worked for me because whatever, oh, this was great, or this didn't work. And it didn't actually have any like scientific research to back it up. It was just, it worked for one person maybe a couple of times, and then there were a bunch of other people randomly, that agreed with it. So then I got that email about Gabasom, and it actually had a lot of research to back it up. Of course, had some delivered. That first night, I slept like I was a bear in hibernation, and I didn't have any crazy dreams. I actually got a full night's rest. Probably the best part is that I didn't wake up with that sleeping pill hangover. I actually woke up refreshed, like I was ready to start the day. And so now I have been taking it for a couple of months, and I can't remember the last time that I had a sleepless night.
We were at our wits' end. We didn't know what to do. I mean, we were ready to go back to the doctor and get those prescription sleeping pills for both of us, just so we could get some rest. And then one day, out of the blue, I just got this email about Gabasom, a natural liquid sleep aid. And of course, I was very skeptical. I thought, here we go, another natural product that claims all the benefits that it can do and all the promises and can't fulfill any of it. But we decided to research it and looked into it. And we found out that the science behind the Gabasom is very solid. And we were both so desperate at this point, we had nothing to lose. So I thought, let's give it a try. So I ordered it, and the first night my husband took it, slept through the night. And then he woke up the next day just feeling just energetic and great. No side effects that we could tell from the product. Well, he has been on it for about 5 months now, and he is like a whole different person. He is full of energy and vitality. He sleeps through the night, and no more problems with waking up in the middle of the night, and I'm getting sleep.
Despite my skepticism, I gave it a try. The first night I took Gabasom, I slept better than I had in weeks. I woke up feeling brand new. Like I just woke up and it's like, yay, I got rested. I felt like I had my energy back, like a natural sleep. I didn't have to fight to stay awake, for one thing, and I didn't feel groggy, I didn't feel drowsy. That takes a big part of your thinking when you're like, oh geez, I gotta focus on what I'm doing. My focus was intact. I felt like I had found the solution to my ultimate, success of sleeping, of actually getting a good night's rest. That was it for me. Gabasom, if you take it, I think you'll like it like I do.
I'm just a happy person again. I feel normal. I don't have those grumpy spouts. I don't have, any of the frustration or the stress anymore. Work is great. And honestly, I would just say I've kind of become that all-around happy person that I used to be before I wasn't getting any sleep. I went from being this just hopeless person, feeling like there was nothing that was going to help my sleeplessness, to just so excited for what's coming in my future, knowing that I don't have to deal with this lack of sleep anymore. I would just say, for anyone out there that's having any trouble sleeping, this is the product for you. It's natural, it's gonna get you to sleep, you're not gonna feel drowsy the next day. I would honestly recommend this to literally anyone that is struggling, even just the smallest bit of having, a restless night. I would just give it to any of them.